In a dark, moonless night, a mother desperately tries to lead her young daughter Elaynia to safety, fleeing from deadly hunters stalking them through the shadows. With a sudden gasp, an arrow pierces the mother's heart and she falls, urging Elaynia to run with her last breath. Elaynia sprints through the ominous woods, the sounds of hooves beating the ground not far behind her. An arrow whistles through the air and bites into her leg, sending her crashing to the ground in agony. Out of the darkness steps a horrifying figure, a humanoid creature with gnashing teeth, fur, and long, twisted antlers rising from its skull. It approaches slowly, drawing a wicked dagger from its belt. Just as the blade is about to plunge into Elaynia's chest, a gray blur streaks in from the side. With a vicious snarl, a wolf tears out the hunter's throat in a spray of blood. The wolf turns to the terrified girl. "More will be coming. We must go quickly," he growls. Still in shock, Elaynia limps after the wolf as they make their way stealthily through the night. Why did you save me?" she finally whispers. The wolf's eyes cloud with sorrow. "I once had a pup of my own. She was killed by hunters much like these, when she wandered too far from our pack one night. Couldn't save her. But I can try to save you." They continue on in silence until a cave finally comes into view in the distance. Relief floods through Elaynia at the thought of a sanctuary where the hunters dare not follow. But the hope is short-lived as two more antlered figures emerge from the shadows to block their path. "Get to the cave!" The wolf snarls as he launches himself at the closest hunter, locking into vicious combat. Elaynia hesitates for a moment, then makes a decision. "I won't leave you," she cries, looking around desperately for some way to help. The wolf and hunter roll on the ground in a tangle of claws, fangs, and stabbing antlers. The second hunter circles, trying to find an opening. Seizing a large branch, Elaynia runs forward and cracks it across the second hunter's head with all her strength. Stunned, it staggers back, mortally wounded but filled with rage and adrenaline. The wolf pushes off the first hunter and makes a final lunge for its throat. This time his aim is true, and with a wet, ripping sound he tears it open. As the creature gurgles its last breath, the wolf collapses. Elaynia grabs the wolf, half dragging him towards the cave entrance. From the darkness, more howls rise up, but they sound different than the wolf's, cold and hungry. With a last desperate effort, Elaynia pulls the wolf inside the cave's mouth just as dark shapes begin pouring out of the woods behind them. In the sheltered darkness, Elaynia huddles over the panting, bloodied wolf. "You're going to be okay," she sobs, trying in vain to staunch the flow of blood. "I'll take care of you, I promise." The wolf looks up at her, eyes filled with pain and a strange peace. "No, little one, my journey ends here, but you're safe now." He takes a shuddering breath. "Live, Elaynia, live for both of us." With that, the wolf sighs once more and goes still. Elaynia bows her head and weeps, cradling the wolf's body as the howls of his brethren echo mournfully in the distance. Eventually, spent of tears, she curls up on the cold stone and falls into an exhausted sleep. She snaps awake to knocking on her door and her father's voice. "Rise and shine, honey. Get dressed quick if you want to make it out to the deer stand before they start moving." Elaynia blinks, disoriented, as realization sets in. It had all been a dream, an incredibly vivid, terrifying dream, but a dream nonetheless. She makes her way to the kitchen where her father sits, clad head to toe in camouflage as he checks over his hunting bow. He looks up with a smile that quickly fades to concern as he sees his daughter's tear-streaked face. "Elaynia, what's wrong?" He sets down the bow and opens his arms. She rushes to him and buries her face against his chest, sobbing.
"I'm sorry, Dad."
"I don't think I can go hunting with you anymore. I just can't." Her father holds her close, stroking her hair in confusion but wanting to comfort her first and foremost. "Sure, it's okay. You don't have to. I'm here." After pouring out the story of her nightmare, Elaynia sits at the table clasping a mug of hot chocolate as her father rubs her back. "I know it was just a dream," she sniffles, "but it felt so real. The fear, the violence, the death. I don't want anything to do with that. I know that's not what hunting is really like, but I can't shake this awful feeling. Her father nods slowly. I understand. You never have to pick up a weapon if you don't want to. I want you to know that. He takes her hand and meets her eyes. What matters is the intention in your heart. Hunting isn't about violence or killing for sport. For our people, it's always been about necessity, about honoring and providing for our community and our families. It's somber, never celebrated. We only take what we need, and we use every part for food, for clothing, for tools. We thank the Creator for the gift and sacrifice of the animal's life. He squeezes her hand. But you need to walk your own path. If hunting isn't part of that, there's no shame in it. You can contribute to and honor our ways in so many other ways through your compassion and courage. Elaynia throws her arms around her father's neck in a tight hug. Thank you, Daddy. I think I just need some time to process everything. And I need to find my own way to help provide and give back. Over the next few weeks and months, Elaynia commits herself to learning more about edible plants and mushrooms native to their area. She spends hours with the tribe's herbalist, gathering knowledge about natural remedies and medicines. In the evenings, she helps the best cooks prepare and preserve meat, berries, grains, and vegetables to store up for the winter. As the nightmare fades and her wounds heal, both physically and emotionally, Elaynia begins joining her father on hikes through the same wild forests that had haunted her sleep. Slowly, cautiously, she starts to open her heart again to the beauty and abundance of the natural world around her. They walk together in peaceful silence, watching birds flit through the branches and squirrels scurry up trunks heavy with nuts. One crisp fall morning, they crouch breathless behind a screen of leaves as a magnificent buck steps into the glade before them, steam puffing from its nostrils in the chill air. It raises its head to scent the breeze, the sunlight shining on its many pointed antlers. Elaynia watches in rapt wonder, taking in every detail. Her father carefully, slowly reaches for his bow, never taking his eyes off the deer. But after a moment, he lowers it. The buck hasn't spotted them. It browses contentedly for a minute more, then wanders back into the trees and disappears. Why didn't you take the shot? Elaynia asks quietly. It was so close. Her father smiles. Just didn't feel right. That buck will feed another family this winter, when the time comes. For now, I'm grateful simply to witness a glimpse of such majesty. Elaynia nods, understanding. They continue on, foraging a bountiful harvest of wild mushrooms, onions, bergamot, and ginger to bring back to the village. Her father never does end up taking a deer that season, but as they work side by side to smoke fish and dry fruit, Elaynia realizes she's never felt closer to him or their ancestral ways. As the years pass, Elaynia grows into a respected young herbalist and healer for her people. She still joins her father every autumn for long walks through the woods, drinking in the crisp air and explosions of red and gold leaves. He continues to hunt, but more and more, he leaves his bow at home, preferring to witness and appreciate the life around them. The sight of antlers no longer fills Elaynia with dread, but with a sense of awe and a somber remembrance of the wolf who sacrificed himself so she could live. It's a lesson she carries in her heart, to face fear with courage and compassion, to fight to protect the innocent, and always to make the most of the life she's been given. Together, father and daughter find ways big and small to honor the land and their connection to its season after season, year after year. And though the horrors and heartbreak of that long-ago night never fully fade, Elaynia learns to make peace with them, guided by the love and wisdom of her father and the enduring memory of one extraordinary wolf.